They can't forget the way your presence once felt like sunlight breaking through a quiet morning. It wasn't just your voice or the rhythm of your laughter that echoed in their mind, it was something deeper, something eternal, as if two souls once whispered to each other before time began, and the echo of that whisper still lives in their heart. You see, my child, there are bonds I create that the world cannot define. Sometimes I allow two hearts to meet not merely for a season but for a sacred purpose, a mirror, a memory, a divine reminder of love's truest form. This person, the one whose heart still stirs when they think of you, may not speak it aloud. They carry the remembrance quietly, like a prayer folded within their soul. I have watched them stand in moments of silence, where your memory slips into their thoughts uninvited yet welcome. I see how they try to reason with themselves, convincing their heart to forget, but love, when it is born from something higher, does not yield easily to reason. It lingers, soft yet certain, waiting for divine timing to weave its meaning again. There was a moment between you, perhaps small, perhaps hidden, when the world seemed to pause. You may not have known it then, but heaven did. I marked that moment, for it was pure. The kind of purity that angels take notice of, the kind that leaves an imprint not on the skin, but on the soul. That is why they cannot forget. That is why their heart still turns toward you, even when their mind tells them not to. I whisper into their dreams sometimes, a memory of your smile, the comfort of your words, the light that only you carried. They wake and do not know why they feel both peace and ache. It is because love that is unfinished in the world continues to live in the spirit, waiting for the fullness of my plan. But do not be restless, my beloved. Do not chase what I have not yet called forth. For even when hearts are apart, I am still writing their story. Separation is not always an ending, sometimes it is a sanctified pause, a divine breath between the notes of a greater song. They miss you because I allowed their soul to recognize yours. And though they may not understand it, they are being taught through the absence, learning how to love more selflessly, how to value the beauty of what was given, and how to see me in the mystery of it all. I see your heart too. I know that sometimes you feel their memory rise unexpectedly, a tug in the spirit, a moment when you wonder, are they thinking of me too? And I tell you, yes, they are. Even when they hide it, even when they bury it under life's noise, their heart carries your name softly, like a secret melody they hum without realizing. And when you feel the quiet pull, that's not coincidence. It's a whisper from eternity reminding you that love, the kind I ordain, never truly fades. It changes form, it matures, it travels through silence and distance, but it remains. Do not mourn what you think is lost. Nothing born of truth is ever lost in me. Every encounter that carries divine purpose finds its way home, sometimes through longing, sometimes through transformation, sometimes through the gentle hands of time. If you could see what I see, you would know that even the ache of missing is sacred. It softens pride, it refines love, it prepares the heart for something higher. The one who misses you is learning too, learning that love is not possession but remembrance, not holding on but holding sacred. So when the night feels heavy and you feel them in your thoughts, breathe. Know that this is not emptiness, it is connection beyond sight. You both are being shaped, quietly, beautifully, under my patient hand. And one day, when the time is right, the story I have written will unfold in ways that will make you understand why it had to be this way. Until then, let your heart rest in trust. Because even unspoken love, when it is rooted in me, is never wasted. And God says, I am not finished with what I began between two souls who once met under my light. What you call coincidence was my design, what you call timing was my whisper. I brought you together not to confuse you, but to awaken you, to remind you that love is not an accident but a mirror of me. When they first saw you, there was a stillness that came over them, though they did not know why. Something inside them recognized something eternal inside you. In that instant, the veil between the earthly and the divine grew thin. It was not just two people meeting, it was two pieces of a story touching again after lifetimes of waiting. They felt peace in your presence, a sense of home they could not explain. Even when words were few, the silence between you spoke in the language of spirit. That is why they cannot forget, because the soul never forgets what it recognizes as truth. You were meant to cross paths so that both of you would remember what love feels like when it is not about possession, but about purpose. I allowed the connection to bloom, even if for a short time, because I wanted to plant a seed in your hearts, a seed that would grow into compassion, understanding, and faith. Sometimes you wonder if they think of you. I tell you, yes. They have moments where your memory arrives softly, like sunlight through curtains. They may pretend they've moved on, they may fill their days with noise, but love like this leaves traces. It lingers in the quiet. It shows up in songs, in scents, in dreams. They may not speak your name aloud, but I hear it in their prayers, in the way they ask me for peace, in the way they thank me for what they once had, even when it hurts. Do not despise the silence between you. Silence is my tool, it is how I speak when words can no longer hold the weight of my plans. Through silence, I am shaping hearts. Through distance, I am teaching surrender. You see, love is not proven by how tightly you hold on, but by how gently you let go when I ask you to. The one who misses you must learn this, and so must you. Because only through letting go can love transform into something that reflects me, patient, unconditional, eternal. And yet, I do not deny the longing you feel. Longing, when surrendered to me, becomes holy. It becomes the fire that purifies selfishness into prayer. The ache of missing someone who carries a piece of your heart is not punishment, it is invitation, an invitation to meet me deeper, to find that the love you shared was never meant to end, only to rise to a higher form. Sometimes they dream of you, not always clearly, but in symbols. A path through a garden, the sound of laughter, a glimpse of light. They wake, heart beating fast, unsure what it means. But I know. It means that their spirit still reaches for yours, that the connection remains alive in ways words cannot capture. There will come a day when both of you will look back and see that everything, even the distance, even the silence, was sacred choreography. Every unanswered message, every unspoken feeling, every maybe someday was a step toward transformation. Because I am not merely restoring love stories, I am restoring souls. When your heart trembles, remember this, you are never alone in your remembering. The same wind that brushes your cheek may pass by them too, carrying a fragment of your prayer. The same moon that watches over you shines upon them. I weave these small signs so that neither of you forgets that my love holds you both. So breathe, my beloved. Let your tears be prayers, your waiting be worship. The one who misses you is not gone from your story, they are walking their own path of awakening. You are connected still, not by circumstance, but by the thread of my grace. And when the appointed time comes, you will understand why the memory never faded. You will see that love, purified through time and faith, becomes light, and light always finds its way home. And God says, there are nights when the world feels still, and you sense something in the air, a quiet pull, a stirring deep within. That is the thread that still binds two hearts I once allowed to meet. Do not fear that connection, it was never a mistake. Every bond one creates serves a purpose, and even when it feels unfinished, it is still sacred in my eyes. The one who misses you sometimes looks at the sky and feels the same tug of remembrance. They do not always understand it. They think they are simply recalling a time of happiness, but what they feel is not just memory, it is energy. It is the gentle pulse of a love that continues to exist in spirit, untouched by distance. They have tried to forget. They have told themselves that time would make the feelings fade. But love that is written in eternity does not obey the laws of time. It transforms, it softens, it goes quiet, yet it remains. And I, the author of love, tend to that flame so that it does not die, only rests until its season returns. I have walked with them through their loneliness, just as I have walked with you through yours. I have seen how both of you have grown, how pain has refined you, how longing has taught you humility. What you once thought was loss was actually becoming. You are both learning how to love beyond the limits of possession, beyond fear, beyond expectation. There were days when they prayed for you, even if they did not speak your name. And there were days when you prayed for peace, not realizing that your prayers touched their heart too. Prayer is not confined by walls or miles, it travels through spirit. When one heart whispers love with pure intention, it reaches the one it's meant for, even if oceans lie between. So many times, my beloved, you have asked me, why did you let us meet if we were not meant to stay together? And I say, because love is not always about staying, sometimes it is about awakening. I allowed your souls to touch because both of you needed to remember what real connection feels like. It was a reminder of what I am, for I am love itself. But hear me clearly, what you shared was not an ending. It was a beginning. You are both still walking toward the fullness of what that connection means. Perhaps it will return in this lifetime, perhaps it will unfold in another form, but nothing is wasted. Every tear, every prayer, every moment of silence has been gathered into the pages of the story I continue to write. The one who misses you does not know how deeply I am working within them. I am guiding their thoughts, softening their heart, teaching them to forgive what they did not understand. I am showing them how to love without fear, how to value gentleness over pride. And I am doing the same in you. Because before two souls can be joined in peace, they must first be whole in me. So let the waiting teach you trust. Let the ache teach you compassion. Let the memory remind you that love, true love, is not fragile. It endures storms, it crosses lifetimes, it bends but never breaks. There will come a morning when you will wake and feel a deep calm in your heart. You will realize that the missing no longer hurts as it once did. It has turned into gratitude, gratitude for what was, and for what is still becoming. That is when you will know you have healed, and that healing is the greatest gift you could offer them. The one who misses you will feel it too. They may not know why, but their spirit will sense your peace. And that peace will draw them closer to me. For love rooted in me always leads home, not necessarily to a person, but to truth, to light, to the divine pulse of creation itself. So rest. Do not look back with sorrow or forward with fear. The connection remains, but it is now being transformed into something eternal, something that blesses both of you, even from afar. Remember this: I am love's keeper. What is real cannot be lost, and what is yours in my plan will always find its way back, in time, in peace, in perfect form. And God says, sometimes the threads of two lives move so far apart that you believe the weave has come undone. Yet even then, I am at work in the unseen places. While you wonder if they still remember, I am arranging the smallest things, a song they hear by chance, a word someone speaks, the scent of rain on a day that feels like you, so that memory turns into blessing, not pain. When their heart softens and they smile at a recollection, that smile is prayer. You may never hear it, but heaven does. It rises like light over still water. I gather it, and I send a portion of that peace back to you. That is why, on some mornings, you wake without knowing why you feel lighter. Love keeps traveling between souls who once touched in truth. I have hidden lessons inside these signs. Each time you notice one, pause. Do not chase it, simply receive it. It is my way of saying, see, nothing is lost. The story is still alive. They too see signs. Sometimes a word you once said comes to them from a stranger. Sometimes they dream of walking a road where your figure moves ahead of them. They reach out but cannot quite touch you. Do not be sad, the dream is not about distance, but direction. It shows that both of you are still walking toward light. I have watched you try to release them with grace. Each time you do, I take that act and turn it into protection. Love held gently becomes shelter, even when you are apart. And I have watched them learn, slowly, that to miss someone does not mean to be trapped in the past, it means their heart is still capable of wonder. There will be a time when your lives cross paths again. It may be brief, it may be quiet, it may not even need words. But when it happens, you will recognize each other not by memory, but by peace. You will see in their eyes that both of you have changed. The longing will have softened into understanding, and the love will have turned into light that blesses everyone it touches. That meeting, whether in this life or the next, will not be for closure, because love that was real never closes. It will be for recognition, a quiet knowing that what I wrote was never erased. Until then, I will keep sending you reminders in the gentlest ways. A melody. A warm breeze. A sudden calm after tears. These are my ways of saying that love is not gone, it is simply learning how to shine differently. So live, my child. Let your heart remain open to the beauty before you. Let your days be full. The story between you and the one who misses you continues even as you both grow in separate gardens. One day, when you least expect it, you will see how those gardens have bloomed from the same light. You are not forgotten. You are remembered in every breath of creation, and so is the one who carries your memory. Walk gently, love deeply, and trust that every heartbeat, every silence, every tear, is part of a love that I, your Creator, am still perfecting. And God says, the seasons have turned while you waited and wondered. The leaves that once fell in silence have returned as green again, and so has your heart begun to find its color. This is how I work, not in sudden thunder, but in the small, steady return of life. You think of them less often now, but when you do, the thought no longer hurts as it did before. That is healing. The ache has turned into blessing, the memory into gratitude. Each time you choose kindness, each time you offer forgiveness even in silence, you help the love between you rise to a higher form. They are learning too. There are days when they feel a warmth for no reason and don't know it comes from you, from your quiet wish for their peace. That warmth travels across the unseen world, carried by me. This is the way true love lives, not in clinging, but in giving. You both have grown in ways you cannot see. I have used solitude to teach you the language of trust. I have let time stretch so that you could discover that joy does not depend on another person, but on me moving through you. And when you learn to smile without needing them beside you, a light in heaven smiled too. That light is the proof that love has matured. Now I am turning the pages. Soon, new faces will come, new laughter, new chances to build and to be kind. Do not close your heart, thinking that to love again would betray what was. Every love that is real honors the one before it, because love itself is one continuous river returning to its source. They, too, will learn this. They will meet kindness in another's eyes and understand that the love they once felt for you taught them how to recognize it. And though neither of you may speak of it, you will both know that the blessing you gave each other continues to ripple outward, touching lives neither of you have met. That is how I use love, to heal the world quietly, through people who once thought their story had ended. When you see beauty, a sunrise, a child's laughter, a stranger's act of mercy, remember that this, too, is part of the same love. You were never meant to hold it in one form, you were meant to let it flow through you. That is why it still feels sacred when you think of them. It is because your heart is touching eternity through the memory. So walk on. Let gratitude be your song, peace be your breath. Each step you take in kindness becomes a prayer that blesses the one who once missed you, and blesses you too. And one day, when your spirit leaves this world and you see the tapestry I have woven, you will understand. You will see two bright threads, yours and theirs, moving through many colors, crossing again and again through time. You will see that there was never loss, only transformation. You will see that every moment you loved was me loving through you. Until that day, live fully, love gently, and remember that nothing true ever fades. What began in me will end in me, and in me, everything that was love remains forever alive. And God says, you have walked through longing, silence, memory, and light. Now you stand where the river of love widens into peace. This is the place I wanted you to reach, not the end of love, but its beginning in truth. Look back once more, but this time with tender eyes. What you thought was loss was a classroom for the soul. Every heartbeat that ached was a doorway through which compassion entered. The one who once missed you learned, through absence, how to feel deeper. You learned, through waiting, how to love without holding. Together, even apart, you became gentler mirrors of my own heart. The longing has done its holy work. It carved space inside you where light can dwell. It taught you that love's truest form is not bound by time or promise, but by awareness, awareness that every person you cherish is an instrument through which I sing. Now the air around you is different. You no longer chase signs, for you have become one. Your peace, your kindness, your calm are all messages of the love that shaped you. When you bless someone with a smile, you bless the one who once missed you too. That is how love endures, not by memory alone, but by the goodness it leaves in its wake. They feel it. When life grows quiet and the evening sky turns gold, something in them softens. They may not name it, but it is you, not as you were, but as the love you gave, still alive, still radiant. You are both surrounded by that same light now, and I am at its center. So let go of what you feared to lose. Nothing real can be taken from you. What was meant to pass has become part of your spirit, and what is meant to stay will meet you again, in its perfect form, when both hearts are ready. Love does not die. It changes its face so that you may keep recognizing me in new ways. When you walk into tomorrow, carry no sorrow with you. Carry only gratitude. Speak blessings into the air, for them, for yourself, for all who come after. Let your life be a prayer whispered through the simple acts of living. That prayer will echo in their heart as peace, the same peace that now fills yours. And when you dream, if you see them once more, let it be a dream of light. Let it remind you that nothing was wasted, nothing forgotten. You will meet again, if not in this lifetime, then in the timeless field beyond the stars, where all stories are one and all hearts rest in love. Until then, walk in gentleness. Trust the quiet rhythm of your days. Feel my presence in every breath, every dawn, every kindness given and received. For I am the love that began it all. I am the silence between your thoughts and the music within them. I am the remembrance that connects you both. And I say to you now, you are not alone. You are loved. You are home.